Hello, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about a case that does involve the death of a child. So, if cases that involve children are very hard for you to hear, they trigger you, I would definitely opt out of this one because this one it's so upsetting. They all are, but especially the ones with children, it makes you ask, like, why? What did this child do that deserved this? And the answer is nothing. They never do anything to deserve it. People are just sick. But the little boy that we're going to be talking about today, his name is Deshaun Martinez. And this happened just a few years ago, so it is kind of recent. Maybe you've heard about it. I heard his name from somewhere. I can't remember. Not when the case was happening. I believe it was on True Crime YouTube somewhere. But I had his name in my notes to do, and it was a really hard one to research. So I know it's going to be really hard to listen to. But let's go ahead and jump into it. So Deshaun was only 6 years old, and he was living in Arizona at the time when he was found dead in March of 2019. When he died, he weighed just 18 pounds, the weight of a 1-year-old. A 6-year-old boy that weighed 18 pounds. When I read that the first time, I was sick to my stomach. So he was originally found unresponsive in the family's apartment in Flagstaff, and he would later die at the hospital. According to the autopsy, he had died as a result of starvation, and the manner is listed as homicide. So arrest records obtained allege that Deshaun and his 7-year-old brother were kept in a closet for about 16 hours a day. Authorities would respond to the scene after receiving a 911 call about an unresponsive child. They found him lying on the floor, his brother still in the closet. As far as I know, the brother is alive. The parents allegedly told police that they would steal food at night, him and the brother. They also said that Deshaun's malnourishment was due to a medical condition and also claimed that he had stolen diet pills. Listen. I don't know how stupid you think people are, but even if a child stole diet pills, I don't think they would be 18 pounds. And if you're punishing him for stealing food at night by putting him in a closet, you shouldn't have fucking children. Your child is stealing food is probably because they're fucking hungry. Your child stealing food is probably because they're not eating enough because you aren't letting them eat. Your child is 18 pounds. I don't know in what world you think that is normal or that is okay, medical condition or not. If my child had a medical condition like that, we'd be at the hospital constantly. We'd be at the doctors constantly. I would be making sure my child eats as much as possible without harming them because that is unhealthy. It's so unhealthy that he died of starvation. Your child was starving. And I don't know how you can look at your child and just say, oh, it's a medical condition, and then you lock them in the closet. I truly don't know how you can do that as a parent. That is just disgusting to me. If your child is stealing food, maybe you feed them a little bit more. I don't fucking know. You don't punish them. I'm sorry. I have to rant about that because parents that bitch about their kids stealing food. If your child is stealing food, feed them. Like, your child is not stealing food in a house that they fucking live in, okay? And you can take offense to that if you want. He also allegedly had abrasions and bruises on his body, but it's said that those injuries were not life-threatening. The autopsy report also detailed his medical history, which allegedly showed that he'd had trouble gaining weight. Even if your child has trouble gaining weight, even if this is like the medical condition that they were saying, 18 pounds, really? 18 pounds? even if it is a medical condition, there's no reason to be locking your children in a closet for 16 hours a day. There's just no excuse for that. At the end of the day, your child died of starvation. And that's on you. That's on the parents. So, he had been hospitalized as a newborn after suffering from sepsis and a UTI. So he had a really rough life. He just had medical conditions, a lot of stuff going on with him. So the arrest records also say, so the mom's name is Elizabeth Archibek, and apparently she told officers that he didn't gain weight even though he was fed a lot. Okay. So the dad, Anthony Martinez, said that they were on a budget and they would have bought better food for Deshaun after getting their next food stamps. So here, I'm calling bullshit. I feed my child a lot. He just wouldn't gain weight. Your 6-year-old child is the weight of a 1-year-old. Even though he eats a lot, he's eating a whole lot. And let's just say like it is a medical condition. Let's just say that she really did feed him a lot. Let's just say that. She didn't though, because he died as a result of starvation. Anyways, let's just play into what she's saying. Why is your child still being locked in a closet? Like, why? Is it because he's stealing food? Is that why he's locked in a closet for 16 hours a day? If he's stealing food, Elizabeth, it's because he's hungry and he's not eating as much as you think he is, or as much as you're trying to say. Why is he not being hospitalized? Because I don't think any doctor would see a child in this condition like, yeah, just send him home. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think so. But sure, Elizabeth. As for Anthony, we're on a budget. So you're on a budget. You're starving your child? If you can't take care of your fucking child to the point where they die from starvation, you shouldn't have fucking kids. Okay? And the excuse, we would have bought better food after you getting your next food stamps. Listen, as a parent, you do what you gotta do to feed your child. You don't lock them in the closet. You don't keep them from eating. End of fucking story, okay? Okay? You make shit work out. So your excuses are just that, excuses, and they're pretty shit ones, if you ask me. So, the grandmother's name is Ann Martinez, and they all lived in the house together. So, Elizabeth, Anthony, and Ann, they were all arrested and charged with first-degree murder. For some reason, they were charged with kidnapping. I'm not quite sure, but that was on the charges. I'm not sure where they got that from. But they were also charged with child abuse. All three pled not guilty, because of course they did. And they're being held on a $3 million bond. However, Elizabeth has already received life in prison with no parole, thank God, so she's never getting out. Anna's trial is in January of next year, so January of 2024, and Anthony's trial still has not been set, so been a few years now, there's still no trial date for him, so that should probably be updated soon. I would assume it's been like 4 or 5 years at this point, so hopefully we'll get a date set on him. And I will also be keeping you up to date with Anne's trial in January. Hopefully they all get at least life in prison, Anne and Anthony. I'm very happy that Elizabeth got her sentence as she did. There's just no excuse. No matter how you slice it, even if he had a medical condition, no matter how you slice it, he should not have been locked in a closet that long every day. There's just really no excuse for what they did. It's just disturbing. And they should never be allowed to see sunlight again. Deshaun was such a cute little boy. And I just want to say right now, I know that when you're watching this video, you're not seeing too many photos of him. I couldn't find that many. But from the photos that I have seen, he is such a cute little boy. And he was only 6 years old. Like, this child could have had such a wonderful life. And you decided to starve your child. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Anyways, I know that this is definitely hard to hear. But if you stuck it out, thank you for listening to Deshaun's story. Like I said, I will keep you up to date when the trials start and all of that. Until then, thank you so much for listening to a story, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.